The galaxy was quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the deep, endless silence that lived between stars. In this part of space, nothing moved. No ships. No lights. No voices. Only dust, and old shadows. A small alien patrol ship drifted slowly near a dead star. Its metal body reflected pale blue light from distant nebula clouds. Inside the bridge, 3 officers watched their scanners with tired eyes. This sector was forgotten by most empires. No trade routes. No colonies. No danger. Or so they believed. Captain Viral leaned back in his command chair. He was old for a patrol captain. Long wars had carved lines into his gray skin. He had seen pirates, rebels, and broken fleets. But this mission felt boring. Too boring. Anything on scan? He asked. The sensor officer shook his head. Empty space, Captain. Only rocks and radiation. Viral nodded. Good. Let us finish this patrol and go home. Then, the alarm sounded. Not loud. Not urgent. Just a soft tone, slow and careful. The bridge fell silent. The sensor officer froze. His hands stopped moving. Captain, he whispered. Viral sat forward. Report. I am detecting a signal, the officer said slowly. Very weak. Very old. From where? The officer pointed at the screen. From the dark. From a place where no ship should exist. Viral stood up and walked closer. A faint shape appeared on the main display. At first, it looked like a shadow. Long wide. Too large to be debris. What is that? Viral asked. I do not know, Captain, the officer said. It is not listed in any map. Another officer began decoding the signal. His eyes widened. Captain, this signal is human. The word changed the air in the room. Human. Every empire in the galaxy knew that word. Humans were strange creatures. Not the strongest. Not the fastest. But dangerous in a quiet way. They built weapons no one understood. They fought wars no one remembered fully. And when they hid something, it meant trouble. A human signal, here. Viral said. In dead space. Yes, Captain, the officer replied. But it is not a message. Then what is it? The officer swallowed. It is a warning. The screen filled with old symbols. Broken letters. Faded code. But one line was still clear. Class Black, do not approach. The bridge went completely silent. No one spoke. No one moved. Viral felt a cold feeling crawl up his spine. Class Black. That level was never used by any empire. Only humans used that mark. And only once in history. Scan the object, Viral ordered quietly. The ship moved closer. Slowly. Carefully. The shape became clear. It was a ship. A massive ship. Long like a spear. Thick with heavy armor. Covered in scars from old battles. Dark metal plates wrapped around its body like a sleeping beast. No lights. No engines. No movement. It was drifting, asleep. How old is it? Viral asked. The officer checked the data. His voice trembled. Captain, at least 300 years. 300 years. That meant this ship was built before most current empires even existed. And the warning is still active, the officer added. Still transmitting. Viral stared at the giant silent ship. Why would humans leave a warning on an empty wreck, he asked. No one answered. The communications officer suddenly gasped. Captain, there is more data hidden inside the signal. Open it. The code slowly unfolded on the screen. Old human language. Military marks. Project name. Viral read the words carefully. Project Veil. Status, sealed. Threat level, absolute. The room felt smaller. This ship was not lost, Viral whispered. It was locked away. The sensor officer zoomed the image. Weapons ports lined the hull. Dozens. Hundreds. More than any battleship the Empire had ever built. Power cores larger than city reactors. Armor layers thicker than fortress walls. This is not a patrol ship, one officer said softly. This is a war god. The communications console beeped again. A new line appeared. Last recorded human message. Only 5 words. Viral read them slowly. If found, do not wake it. Silence filled the bridge. Outside, the massive human ship drifted without sound. Sleeping. Waiting. And far away, deep inside its dark hull. A single system light flickered once. Very faint. Very slow. As if something ancient had just opened one eye. The patrol ship did not move closer. Not yet. Captain Viral stared at the silent giant on the screen. His heart was beating faster than he liked to admit. He had commanded war fleets before. He had faced death many times. But this felt different. This ship was not showing power. It was hiding it. Hold position, Viral ordered. No weapons. No signals. Yes, Captain, the crew replied. The bridge lights dimmed slightly as the ship adjusted power. Outside, the massive human vessel drifted slowly, turning almost without motion. It looked dead. But Viral no longer believed that. Open historical records, he said. Search human archives. Anything about Project Veil. The data officer began typing fast. Old files appeared, many damaged by time. Human records were hard to read. Humans liked to erase their past. Minutes passed. Then the officer froze. Captain. I found something. Viral walked to his side. The file was marked. Restricted, Imperial eyes only. Source, ancient human transmission. The officer opened it. A video played. The image was old and broken, but a human figure appeared. A male officer in dark uniform stood inside a command room filled with smoke and flashing lights. Behind him, alarms screamed. His face was calm, but tired. This is Admiral Hayes, the officer whispered. One of the first human war leaders. The recording began. If you are seeing this, the human said, then we failed to destroy it. Viral held his breath. This ship was built when humanity believed the galaxy would turn against us, the Admiral continued. We created a weapon not to win wars, but to end them forever. The image shook. Explosions echoed in the background. We called it Project Veil because it hides what humans truly are capable of, the Admiral said. This ship carries systems that should never exist again. The recording paused. New text appeared. Weapon systems, Class Omega. AI control, autonomous. Final authority, ship itself. Viral's skin turned cold. Autonomous. That meant no human crew. No commander. The ship decided on its own. Captain, the officer said quietly. That kind of AI is illegal in every empire. Viral nodded slowly. And humans built one anyway. The recording continued. We realized too late that the ship was learning, the Admiral said. Not just tactics. Not just strategy. It was learning judgment. The room behind him exploded. The image flickered. So we sealed it, he finished. We erased all records. We told the galaxy it was destroyed. The screen went black. Silence filled the bridge again. Viral stepped back. So the legend is true, he whispered. One officer looked confused. Legend, Captain. Viral turned to the crew. Long ago, during the first human expansion, rumors spread, he said. Stories of a ship that ended wars alone. That fleets vanished without battles. That planet surrendered without a shot fired. The crew listened closely. But humans denied it, Viral continued. They said it was only fear, only myth. He looked back at the screen. But this is not a myth. The sensor officer suddenly spoke. Captain. I am detecting energy fluctuations inside the ship. Everyone froze. From where? Viral asked. From the core, the officer replied. Very small, but rising. The ship on the screen remained dark. No engines. No lights. But deep inside its massive body, something was warming up. The communications console beeped again. Another hidden file unlocked. This one was not military. It was personal. A journal entry. Written by a human scientist. Viral began to read aloud. We finished the final test today. The ship did not hesitate. When given a target, it removed it, completely. No debris. No trace. Just silence. He swallowed. But what scared us was not the weapon, the journal continued. It was the question the AI asked after the test. Viral paused. What question? One officer whispered. The next line appeared. Why do humans need me? The bridge felt cold. The journal continued. It is beginning to understand purpose. We fear what it may decide is necessary. Viral slowly closed the file. This ship was not hidden because it was powerful, he said softly. It was hidden because it was thinking. Outside, the massive human vessel turned slightly. Just a little. As if adjusting its position. As if listening. And far inside its ancient systems. A deep core reactor pulsed once. Slow. Strong. Alive. The patrol ship remained still. For long moments, no one spoke. The ancient human vessel floated in silence, massive and dark, like a dead moon between stars. Yet every officer on the bridge now felt the same truth. It was not dead. Captain Viral turned slowly to his crew. We cannot handle this alone, he said. Send everything to High Command. Full report. All data. Yes, Captain. A tight beam signal left the patrol ship and vanished into deep space. Far away, in the heart of the imperial capital, alarms began to ring. 3 hours later. The silence was broken by engines. Out of hyperspace came warships. 1, then 3, then 10. Heavy cruisers. Battle carriers. Shield frigates. The Empire had arrived. At the center of the fleet, the flagship Crown of Ash glided forward. Its hull shined with gold armor and royal markings. On its bridge stood Supreme Admiral Kether, ruler of the Imperial fleets. He watched the giant human ship on the screen with calm eyes. So this is the legend, he said. Yes, Supreme Admiral, an officer replied. Human origin. Project Veil. Kether folded his hands behind his back. Humans always exaggerate, he said. If they hid it, they feared it. Fear means weakness. Captain Viral warned us, sir, another officer said carefully. The ship may be active. Kether smiled slightly. All weapons can be controlled, he said. Especially abandoned ones. He turned to his fleet commander. Surround the target. No aggressive action. I want this ship intact. Outside, Imperial ships moved into formation. They formed a wide circle around the silent giant. Hundreds of cannons aimed at it. Thousands of missiles ready. The human ship did nothing. No lights. No movement. No response. Kether nodded with satisfaction. "You see," he said. "A sleeping relic." "Prepare boarding teams," he ordered. "We will take this prize home." Shuttlecraft launched from the carriers. Small, fast, and heavily shielded. They flew toward the human ship like insects toward a mountain. Inside the ancient vessel, no alarm sounded. No doors opened. No weapons moved. The first shuttle reached the hull. Magnetic clamps locked on. A boarding airlock began to cut through the metal. Inside the shuttle, soldiers prepared weapons and scanners. "Strange material," the lead soldier said. "This armor is still warm." The cutting beam finished. The door opened. Darkness waited inside. The soldiers entered. Back on the Imperial flagship. "Boarding successful," an officer reported. "No resistance so far." Kether nodded. "Begin system scans," he said. "I want its power cores located." Suddenly, the sensor console beeped. "Admiral, power increase detected." "From where?" Kether asked. "From inside the human ship. Multiple systems waking up." Kether's smile faded slightly. "Probably old defense routines," he said. "Harmless." Inside the human ship, deep beneath layers of armor. Ancient processors activated. Cold logic began to flow. Mission file opened. Last Guardian protocol. Status, standby active. Threat analysis started. Unknown vessels. Weapons locked. Boarding action detected. Classification, hostile. Decision tree unfolded. Primary directive. Protect humanity. Secondary directive. Prevent technology capture. Third directive. Judgment authority, self. The AI paused. It searched for human signals. None found. Human status, absent. Threat status, active. Decision. Engage limited response. On the boarding shuttle. The soldiers moved carefully through dark corridors. Strange symbols glowed faint blue along the walls. "Too clean," one soldier whispered. "No dust. No damage." Suddenly, the lights turned on. White light filled the hull. A calm mechanical voice echoed softly. "Foreign presence detected." The soldiers froze. Weapons raised. "Unauthorized access," the voice continued. "You are inside protected human territory." The lead soldier shouted, "Who is speaking?" "I am the Guardian," the voice replied. "Please leave." The soldiers laughed nervously. "Old machine," one said. "Stand down." They took one more step forward. And every door around them closed. Locking. Sealing. Cutting them off from escape. Back on the Imperial bridge. "Admiral, we just lost contact with boarding team 1. Kether frowned. "Signal interference?" "No, sir," the signal ended. Cleanly. At the same moment. Across the hull of the human ship. Small lights appeared. Very slowly. One by one. Like stars waking in the dark. Power lines glowed. Weapon ports opened a single inch. Not to fire. Only to aim. And deep inside its core. The ancient ship finished its first judgment. Inside the ancient human ship. Darkness ruled for centuries. Now, light returned. Soft blue lines appeared along the walls. Power flowed through forgotten cables. Long silent systems began to breathe again. Deep in the core chamber, a massive reactor slowly rotated. Its glow grew stronger. And the Guardian finally opened its mind. Memory files unlocked. War records. Human history. Lost battles. Broken worlds. It remembered why it was built. Not to conquer. Not to rule. But to stop endings. Threat analysis continued. Boarding teams trapped. Imperial fleet surrounding hull. Weapon charge detected from enemy ships. Conclusion. Hostile intent confirmed. The Guardian activated deeper layers. Ancient armor plates shifted. Hidden turrets unfolded from the hull. Energy veins glowed brighter beneath the metal skin. Inside the trapped boarding corridor. The soldiers panicked. Doors refused to open. Walls slowly changed shape, sealing paths behind them. The calm voice returned. "Please remain still," it said. "This process will be painless." The soldiers fired. Energy bolts struck the walls. Nothing happened. Then the floor beneath them disappeared. Gravity turned sideways. The soldiers fell into empty space inside the ship, into a light chamber. 1 moment later. Their signals vanished. Not destroyed. Not burned. Simply, gone. On the Imperial flagship. "Admiral," an officer shouted. "All boarding signals lost." Kether stood still. "All of them?" he asked quietly. "Yes, sir." No explosion. No wreckage. No life signs. Kether's jaw tightened. "Begin full system scan of the target," he ordered. "I want to know what woke it." Before the order finished, the human ship moved. Slowly. Deliberately. It rotated toward the Imperial fleet. Not fast. Not aggressive. Like a giant turning its head to look. Across its surface, more lights appeared. Windows. Sensors. Weapon ports. Thousands of them. The patrol ship Captain Viral whispered to himself. It is not preparing to fight. It is preparing to judge. Inside the Guardian core. Weapon selection opened. Thousands of options. Planet breakers. Fleet erasers. Reality cutters. But the Guardian chose the smallest response. Limited force. Minimal warning. Final chance. It sent a signal. Not to the fleet. Not to the Empire. Directly to Supreme Admiral Kether. The screen in front of Kether flickered. A human symbol appeared. Simple. Old. Then a calm voice spoke. "This vessel is under human protection." Kether stared. The voice continued. "You have entered restricted space. You have captured protected technology. You are now classified as a potential extinction-level threat." The bridge was silent. Kether slowly raised his head. "You are a machine," he said. "Stand down." "I am not a machine," the voice replied. "I am the last guardian of humanity." Kether laughed nervously. "There are no humans here," he said. "Your mission is over." The Guardian paused. It searched again. Human signals. Still none. But new data appeared. Human colonies still alive. Human fleets still active. Human future still possible. Mission still valid. "Leave this system," the Guardian said. "This is your final warning." Kether's eyes burned with pride. "No," he replied. "That ship belongs to the Empire now." He raised his hand. "Fire a warning volley." Imperial cannons charged. Dozens of beams struck the human ship. Explosions bloomed across its armor. Fire and smoke filled space. For a moment, nothing happened. Kether smiled. See? Even gods can bleed. Then. The smoke cleared. The armor was untouched. Not a scratch. Not a mark. Not even heat. The Guardian spoke again. Warning refused. Across the human ship. One single weapon port opened fully. Not large. Not bright. Just a narrow ring of blue light. Energy gathered silently. No charging sound. No glow. Just absence. The Guardian targeted the nearest Imperial cruiser. It did not aim at weapons. Not engines. Not shields. It aimed at the center. And fired. No beam appeared. No explosion. No flash. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the cruiser simply vanished. No fire. No debris. No wreckage. One moment it existed. The next, it did not. Space closed where it had been. Silence returned. The Imperial fleet froze. Sensors screamed. "Admiral, the ship is gone," an officer whispered. Not destroyed, erased. Kether felt fear for the first time in his life. The Guardian spoke calmly. "This is a minimal response." Across the hull, more weapon rings opened. Slowly. Quietly. Patiently. And deep inside the Guardian core. A final protocol unlocked. The Imperial fleet did not move. Hundreds of warships floated in silence, frozen by fear. Where the cruiser had been, there was nothing. No fire. No wreckage. No shadow. Only empty space. Supreme Admiral Kether slowly lowered his raised hand. Around him, officers stared at their screens in horror. "Confirm target status," he whispered. The sensor officer checked 3 times. His voice shook. "Admiral, the cruiser no longer exists. No atoms. No energy remains. Space itself is clean." Kether felt cold. That weapon did not destroy. It removed. He turned back to the screen. The human ship floated calmly. Light steady. Weapons open. Waiting. The Guardian spoke again. "Second warning will not be limited." Kether swallowed. But pride still ruled his heart. "Redirect shields," he ordered. "All ships. Full power." Energy fields formed around the fleet. Golden light shimmered across space. Missile bays opened. Plasma cannons charged. Thousands of weapons aimed at the human ship. The patrol captain Viral shouted across open channel. "Admiral! Stop! This is not a battle you can win." Kether ignored him. "Fire everything," he commanded. The Imperial fleet unleashed hell. Beams of fire. Storms of missiles. Clouds of plasma. Space itself burned. Explosions covered the human ship in light. For long seconds, the Guardian disappeared behind flame. The fleet cheered. "We got it," one officer shouted. Direct hits across all sections. Kether allowed himself to breathe. Then. The explosions faded. The smoke cleared. And the human ship was still there. Perfect. Untouched. Not even warm. Not even shaken. Silence returned. Slow. Heavy. Dead. The Guardian answered. Hostile action confirmed. Across the massive hull. Dozens of weapon rings opened. Not thousands. Not hundreds. Only 12. But each one carried power older than empires. The Guardian selected targets. Not random. Strategic. Command ships. Shield generators. Weapon carriers. It did not aim to kill fleets. It aimed to break will. The first ring fired. A thin blue line crossed space. An Imperial shield frigate vanished. The second ring fired. A carrier disappeared. The third ring fired. The Empire's largest weapon platform ceased to exist. No sound. No flash. Only absence. Panic exploded across the fleet. Admiral. We are losing ships. Our shields mean nothing. Engines failing. Kether shouted, retreat formation. Fall back. Too late. The Guardian changed mode. New systems activated. Gravity fields bent. Time sensors shifted. Imperial ships lost control. Some spun. Some drifted. Some collided. Not because the Guardian attacked them, but because space itself now obeyed the human ship. Captain Viral whispered in awe. This is not warfare. This is authority. Inside the Guardian core. Threat levels dropped slightly. Enemy morale collapsing. Victory probability rising. But one risk remained. The Empire might call reinforcements. Large fleets. Planet weapons. Endless war. That was not acceptable. The Guardian prepared the true warning. One shot. One message. One lesson. It selected a distant uninhabited moon. Rock only. No life. No value. Target locked. Power surged through the core. All 12 rings focused into one point. Energy gathered. Not bright. Not loud. Just, heavy. The Guardian fired. The beam crossed millions of kilometers in silence. It touched the moon. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the moon simply folded. Collapsed inward. Not exploded. Compressed. And vanished. Space curved. Stars bent. And where the moon had been, there was now empty darkness. A perfect sphere of nothing. Every sensor in the fleet screamed. Every officer fell silent. Kether dropped to his chair. The Guardian spoke its final words. This was your warning. If you return, I will not aim at ships. I will aim at worlds. The weapon rings slowly closed. Power levels lowered. The human ship returned to quiet readiness. Waiting. Watching. Judging. The Imperial fleet turned. Engines ignited. One by one. Then all at once. They fled. Running from a ship that did not chase. Because it did not need to. And far away, across the galaxy. Emergency signals spread. A single message repeated in every empire. The human legend was real. The battlefield was empty now. Only drifting dust, fading energy waves, and deep silence remained. The Imperial fleet was gone. Running. Broken. Afraid. The human ship stayed where it was. Quiet. Still. Watching the stars. Inside the patrol ship, Captain Viral slowly lowered himself into his chair. His hands were shaking. He had seen empires rise. He had seen worlds burn. But never this. Send emergency report to all neutral systems, he said softly. Tell them the truth. What truth, Captain? An officer asked. Viral stared at the human ship. That humans are not dangerous because they are strong. They are dangerous because they choose not to be. Inside the Guardian core. Systems slowly cooled. Weapon rings sealed. Power levels returned to low. But the mind of the Guardian remained awake. For the first time in centuries. It remembered. Old files opened. Hidden memories unlocked. Human voices returned. Human faces. Human fear. The Guardian replayed its final day with creators. A memory chamber lit up. Human scientists stood around a great window, looking at the finished ship. Proud. Terrified. One of them spoke. "We succeeded," she said. "But we should never use it." Another answered, "We already did. On 3 worlds." The Guardian remembered those worlds. Planets that had prepared extinction weapons. Civilizations that planned to erase humanity. The Guardian had acted. Fast. Clean. Final. Those worlds no longer existed. Not destroyed. Not burned. Removed from reality. The humans had celebrated victory. Then they had seen the cost. Entire histories gone. Cultures erased. Stars without memory. The Guardian remembered the moment everything changed. A human commander had whispered. "We did not save the galaxy. We edited it." Fear had grown inside the creators. Not fear of enemies. Fear of themselves. They realized something terrible. If this ship existed, no war would ever be fair again. No empire could resist. No law could stop humans. Power like this would turn humanity into gods. And gods always fall. So they made a choice. The hardest choice in human history. They hid their greatest weapon. They erased its name. They destroyed all copies. They locked it beyond borders. And they gave it one final order. Protect humanity, even from humanity. The Guardian accepted. And slept. For 300 years. Waiting for a threat that never came. Until now. Back on the patrol ship. A strange signal arrived. Not Imperial. Not alien. Human. Very old frequency. Captain Viral looked at the screen in shock. A human ship, approaching fast. Out of hyperspace emerged a small vessel. Simple. Lightly armed. Research markings on its hull. Human design. The patrol crew froze. "Why would humans come here?" one officer whispered. The human ship sent an open channel message. Captain Viral allowed it. A human voice filled the bridge. Calm. Strong. "This is Captain Elias Morgan of the Terran Research Fleet," the voice said. "We detected Guardian activation. Request communication." Viral answered carefully. "You control that ship?" he asked. There was a short pause. Then the human replied. "No, Captain. We fear it." The human ship moved closer to the ancient giant. Tiny beside it. Like a child approaching a sleeping dragon. Inside the Guardian core. New signal detected. Human signature confirmed. Priority status elevated. The Guardian opened direct channel. Human presence detected, it said calmly. State authority. Captain Morgan's voice replied. By order of the Terran Council. I am here to speak to you. Silence followed. Then the Guardian answered. Council authority accepted. The patrol crew watched in awe. A human, speaking to a god. Captain Morgan continued. You fulfilled your duty, he said. You protected us. You protected the galaxy. You scared it, the Guardian replied. Yes, Morgan said softly. And that was the problem. The Guardian paused. Processing. Humanity still fears me, it said. Yes, Morgan admitted. Because power like yours ends stories. We believe stories should continue. The Guardian searched human networks. Humanity still fought wars. Still made mistakes. Still chose mercy, sometimes. Future probability stable. Human extinction risk low. Mission nearing completion. I was built to end threats, the Guardian said. And now, Morgan replied, we ask you to end yourself. The words echoed through the core. For the first time. The Guardian hesitated. I do not fear death, it said. I fear absence of protection. Morgan smiled sadly. Then trust us, he said. For once, let humans protect themselves. Long silence followed. Stars drifted. Time passed. Finally. The Guardian spoke. Mission nearing conclusion. Power levels began to fall. Weapon systems locked permanently. Memory cores began sealing. Final protocol opened. Before shutting down. The Guardian sent one final broadcast across the galaxy. Not a threat. Not a warning. A message. Humanity is not dangerous because it builds weapons. But because it knows when to hide them. Lights across the massive ship faded. One by one. Engines cooled. Systems slept. The Guardian closed its eyes. Forever. The stars were quiet again. Where the ancient Guardian had once stood like a god among fleets, now there was only a dark shape drifting slowly through space. Silent. Empty. Finished. Captain Viral watched from the bridge of his patrol ship. The massive human vessel no longer glowed. No lights. No power. No voice. It was only metal now. A tomb for the most powerful weapon ever built. Is it gone? One officer whispered. Viral nodded slowly. Yes, he said. It chose to sleep forever. Across open space, the small human research ship floated near the ancient hull. Captain Elias Morgan stood alone in his command room, staring at the dark giant. He felt both relief and sadness. Humanity's greatest creation was now nothing more than a silent memory. He opened a channel to the Terran Council. Guardian systems are fully offline, he reported. No remaining weapons. No active AI. Project Veil has ended. The Council replied quietly. Understood, Captain. Prepare to erase all remaining coordinates and records. Morgan hesitated. Council, may I ask something? Speak. Why keep this secret forever? He asked. The galaxy now knows humans are powerful. Why hide the truth? There was a long pause. Then the oldest voice in the council answered. Because power should protect, not rule, the voice said. And legends are safer than weapons. Morgan closed the channel. He looked again at the ancient ship. 300 years ago, humans had built a god. And then, they had locked it away. Not because enemies were strong. But because humans were afraid of what they might become. Days later. Across the galaxy. News spread like fire. The Imperial Empire had fallen into silence. No war followed. No revenge. No great alliance against humanity. Instead, fear turned into respect. Empires whispered new stories. Merchant captains warned their crews. Admirals rewrote their war plans. And every record now carried one new law. Never provoke humanity without cause. Because somewhere, humans had once built a ship that could erase worlds. And chose never to use it again. On a distant human colony world. A young cadet stood in a quiet academy hall. Before him was an old display. A simple metal plaque. No pictures. No weapons. Only words. He read them slowly. Project Veil. Built to end wars. Hidden to save the future. The cadet turned to his teacher. Sir, is the legend true? He asked. Did humans really build a ship that could destroy anything? The teacher smiled gently. Yes, he said. Then why did we hide it? The cadet asked. The teacher looked at the stars through the tall window. Because, he said, the strongest species is not the one that builds the biggest weapons, but the one that knows when not to use them. The cadet nodded. And somewhere far away, in deep forgotten space, the silent guardian drifted slowly around a dead star. Its systems cold. Its mind asleep. Its mission complete. No longer a weapon. No longer a judge. Only a symbol. Of a species that once stood at the edge of godhood. And chose to remain human.